everyone, I'm Niranjana Shokan, the co-founder of Code Tigers. Welcome to the Girls Special Code Tigers live show. In a couple of minutes, I'll be joined by two more girls. Our guest of the day, Vidhi Mehta, the Chief Technology Officer at Moneyfront, and the young coder of the day, Kyrene Solanki, a class 6 student of Vasant Valley School. Before introducing them to you, I would like to answer few of the commonly asked questions. The first question that people generally ask is, what is code? So code is a process of converting human instructions into a language that a computer can understand and follow. Second most commonly asked question is, who should learn to code and why? So my answer would be everybody should learn to code, no matter what field of study or profession you might be in. Being able to code is an essential required skill these days. The most common myth is that code is only there for people with technical skills or computer engineers. Believe me, it is not so. Code is there for everybody. And we generally recommend to start to code at a young age as it enhances the basic life skills like problem solving abilities, your creativity, your collaborative working, so the sooner you start, the better it is. The third question is how to start with code. So you should always start with a visual programming language like Blockly or Scratch, and then you can gradually move to the text-based language. So this is there's a benefit of starting with the visual programming language that you just focus only on the learning a particular logic. You are not worried about the syntax there. And this is the exact approach that is followed by a few of the top universities like Berkeley and Harvard. Also, our initiative to start with the Code Tigers live show every Sunday at 10 a.m. will help you learn to code. And what we started 3 weeks ago is turning out to be a magnificent idea as we are getting a splendid response across the globe. And my request to you all is kindly spread the word so that more and more people can join in and everybody would be able to learn to code. Now it is the time to invite our guest of the day, Vidhi Mehta, the Chief Technology Officer and the winner of Women in Tech Evolving CTO CIO Award 2020. Congratulations, Vidhi.
Thanks, Niranjana, and thank you so much for having me here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, was I audible?
Yes, you were. Sorry, I thought I could hear an echo. That's why, but okay, this is good. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming here today, this Sunday morning, and taking the time out to teach your children how to code. I think what Code Tigers is doing is amazing. Great job, Niranjana and Sandeep. I'm so excited that this platform is there and it's available now in India for all the children here. So I highly encourage everyone to make use of it. A little bit about myself. My name is Vidhi. I am the Chief Technology Officer at Moneyfront. We're a digital wealth management platform based out of Mumbai. We've been around for almost 4 years now. We have over 15,000 customers with us who have routed over 2,000 crores through our platform in direct plans of mutual funds. We also offer other debt instruments, corporate deposits, bonds, lending, and other opportunities. So if anyone's looking to even invest in the markets today, definitely take a look at us. We are into we're an completely online platform, paperless platform. We also do data science driven recommendations. So everything is automated. We run algorithms on market data and figure out what are the best mutual funds that you must invest in. So that's about what I do. I have a background in computer science from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. After that, I was in the I graduated in 2007, and after that, I was in the US for another 7 years, working with companies like Accenture and then Autotrader.com, which is Cox Automotive now. They're a lot like Car Dekho and other similar car selling platforms in India. I started my career as a developer, started programming in Java. And after that, I moved on more to the product management side of things. So I started as a developer, and then I was more like a functional lead. I can get into that a little later if anyone's interested in knowing, what are the career opportunities here in this space. But I slowly moved away from there into more of leadership and management across industries, across verticals. So I've worked in the health insurance industry. I've worked in the for the government under unemployment insurance. I've obviously done the automotive car auto company, auto industries, and now I'm in the finance industry. In between, I was when I moved back to India, I also started my own business, which had to do with retail. And again, we can get into all of this a little later. But so I've touched several industries across the board.
Yes, so all the students, those who are there who want to ask some question from Vidhi, they can put it up in the chat box. Also, you can mention from which place you belong to, so that we get an idea like from where all the people are joining. Okay.
Oh yeah,
so,
sure, yeah.
So,
I'm from Bombay. I am here now, and in between, I was in the US for 13 years.
all right, that's great, Vidhi, to know. Now I'll introduce Kyrene. Kyrene, she will take us through the app development hour of code activity. She's a class 6 student of Vasant Valley School. Hello, Kyrene, you can unmute yourself.
Yes.
So,
I am Kyrene Solanki, and
what
am I
are you going
audible?
to present today? Yes, you are very much audible.
Okay, so I am Kyrene Solanki of Class 6 in Vasant Valley School, and so today we'll be doing the hour of code app development.
So, Kyrene will present an app before you that she has created for her mother's Apple Skin Clinic, right?
Yes. So this is the app. This is an app I created for my mother's clinic. She's a dermatologist and has multiple skin clinics. So this is the first screen, and it just gives details about the background of the clinic. And
can you talk about the design mode and the code mode? Like, what all did you, what elements you have chosen from the design mode to create the screen? Basically, the design mode, from there you can choose various elements to give a look to your screen. Right,
yes,
Kyrene?
here I chose the text option, and over here I chose an image to put the logo.
And button option is also there, I can see.
Yes, button.
Yes.
It's little slow. Okay. So then here, the visitor will have 3 options to choose from. The first is skincare routine, if they just want regular skincare routine according to their skin type. Then the skincare tips, if they want any skin related tips. And there are treatment options if they decide to go for treatments. So if they go for skincare routine, he has two options: the morning and night routine. So let's go back. And in skincare tips, it displays 3 tips that client, which will change every week, so that client or patient can keep coming back for updates.
So
Then
clicking
here,
on the back button will help you go to the previous screen or to the next screen.
yes. Then your treatment options. Let's click on that, and it takes us to this screen. The treatment options will display all options based on patient's requirement, like acne, pigmentation, aging, facials, hair fall, etc. So then, for example, if they tap on anti-aging, they get 4 options. It will have fillers, Botox, thread lift, or PRP. For example, if the person wants to go to Botox, then they've got 2 options: book now and contact us. So in book now, they can just choose a suitable date and time to get an appointment with the doctor straight from the app and contact us. So let's tap on it. So then here it has some contact details about the clinic, the email and phone, the phone and email ID. So then it also has a section where the viewer can leave their contact details here. So then if they tap on next, okay. After this, if they tap on next, this page is the last one, the screen. It is thanking the patient to visit the app and also gives the patient an option, this button, home button, to go back to the home screen so they can start again.
So Vidhi, how did you find this app?
This is amazing, Kyrene. So this is your first app? And
We
your
started
own...
building
No,
an
it's
app
like
on the school, but then she was like, I want to give something to my mama, and that is how it was her idea to create an app, for her mother.
Wow, wow, that's amazing, Kyrene. This is what I'm talking about. I'm so glad that these opportunities are there for these kids. I started coding when I was 15, 16, no, actually much older, 17 years old, 17, 18 years old. So, and I know at that time when I started, when I was a freshman at U of I, there were lots of other kids who had already come with this big background of coding, and so it was much easier for them to understand the concepts that were taught in class. So this is great, Kyrene. I love the app. I like how you've thought so logically. The flow is amazing. The flow is great. Definitely, once you start learning a little bit more about customer experience and UI UX, you can get a designer to do some of your front end pages, and then you can use HTML, CSS, and JS, and improve the front end of the application a little bit. But as a beginning, this is amazing, and I'm so happy I got to see this today.
Yes, and all the viewers, those who are
Thank
there
you.
today, you will also get an opportunity to create an app. And Kyrene is the teacher here. Kyrene, I have taught you everything. Now it is your turn.
Yes. So I will share my screen to show you. So you have to open a new tab here, and you can over here type code.org. It's loading. Then this screen comes, and then you can tap on learn here. After that, if you scroll down, this is the hour of code section. So here are like 3 activities. Then if you tap on view more, there will be more options. There's a variety of options here. So if you don't know what to choose, there's a little description here which tells what is happening in there. So today we'll be doing intro to App Lab. Let's tap on go. And then just provide your age.
So this is the recommended
And then-
age is 13 plus, and Kyrene is 10. And because she is learning so many things simultaneously, she is learning Blockly, she is learning Scratch. She's also into app development because she is such a fast learner. So that is how she learned this.
This is great, Niranjana. I think so. For all our users who've tuned in to this morning, just a recap. They did get it right. It's code.org, and then from there, Kyrene took us to the app lab, and then she's going to walk us through how you can develop an app. So I highly recommend that if your child is sitting with you today, and if you are able to go through this. With them while we are streaming, then you can do it alongside, or maybe just watch right now, and then after this is done, I would highly recommend
Yeah,
you
we
do this
would
exercise.
recommend that everybody should be doing along with us, because this is the hour of code and everybody should learn this activity with us, and we'll go step by step.
Yeah.
Some network issue there at Kyrene's end. So till that time, Vidhi, you can just tell us more about your work, your experience in technology field. How is it?
Sure. So, like I was saying, when I graduate, I went to school at University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and as a freshman, like I think we mentioned earlier too, Niranjana, when I walked into my first app development class, I realized that I was one of 3 women in the entire class who was learning programming, and for a second, I did think to myself, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I hope I'm able to cope and work my way through this. And initially, you always tend to go meet the other girls in your class and try to form a group so that you can help each other and support each other. But I think eventually you get to learn that a lot of this is just this gender bias is just in your head, and you just move along, and everyone's there to help you out if you ask for it. So I would highly encourage, a lot of female engineers to, or girls here to learn how to, come out and code. And as you'll see, Kyrene will walk us through it. It's very, very easy. And it's a lot about just the math and the logic behind it.
Even we would request all the parents here, so please support your girl child to go into coding. Later on, let her explore and find out whether she's interested into or not, but at least give that exposure to them. So Kyrene is back here. Yes. Kyrene, present your screen. Over to you.
Yes, I will put it again. Okay, so then this is the intro to App Lab. Now here is a video. So let's watch.
My name is Milani. I'm an intern at code.org, and I'm also a computer science student. I like computer science because it's really creative. I get to be the problem solver. I get to make everything function how I want it to. But I also get to be the designer. I get to be the artist and choose everything, the creative side of it. Making your own apps is easy with App Lab. Whether you're new to coding or have some experience, App Lab is a great tool for building new apps and sharing them with your friends. This is App Lab. On the left side is your app. On the right side is the code that will make it run. You build your program by dragging in blocks from the toolbox. To start, you'll just have one block, called set property. The set property block changes the look of the elements on your screen, like the buttons, labels, or even the screen itself. First, you need to decide which element you want to change. If you hover over an element in your app, you can see its name, or ID, here. Then go select that ID from the first dropdown. Elements have lots of properties you can change, like their text color, background color, or font size. You can see the full list and choose which property you want to change in the second dropdown. The last dropdown is where you'll write the value you want to use. The block will make a suggestion for you, but you can always type in different colors or numbers yourself. Once you're done, the block reads a bit like a sentence. Set button 1's background color to green. Hit run to see the changes you're building in code. If you reset, you can drag in more blocks to change other things about your app. like the text. For this tutorial, we'll be working in block mode, but AppLab also supports working in text. Either way, you'll be programming in JavaScript, the language of the web. Each level has a goal, instructions, and an image of what you're aiming to create. If you're ever stuck, click on this picture, and I'll show you exactly how to complete the level. But see if you can do it on your own first. Once you've completed the goal for this level, click Finish to move on. That's all there is to it. Hit the orange Continue button to go to the next level. Start your adventure with AppLab.
Kyrene, scroll it up. There is a continue button in the end.
Ma'am, it's not exiting the full
Click
screen.
on escape button.
So then here let's tap on continue. Ma'am, it's not tapping on anything.
Click on continue, beta.
Ma'am, I am clicking. It's not tapping anything.
Maybe it got hanged.
Try reloading your page, maybe. There.
Okay.
I feel like
Reload it again. So till that time, Vidhi, if you can just share what do you think? Like, what are the future technology opportunities?
Yeah, sure. So especially in app development, right? Let me share some numbers here. So last year in India, we had over 19 billion app downloads in the country. This is second only to China. So we are the second largest market here. And if you look at the pace of growth over the last 3 years, then in that India is at the top. Even in terms of app usage, if you see in India, over 90% of people access social media on their phones versus US and UK, which are still only at like 80-81%, right? So that's the massive opportunity that we're sitting at. And I think today, if you see, India is more of a services market. We've been known for providing our talent for US companies and sending our engineers abroad, or even having centers here to provide IT support. But I think over the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see a shift where we'll be able to see products that are designed and developed in India, by an Indian company for the global platform. So I think there is a ton of opportunity in this space for everyone who's interested. For parents and teachers in school, I think the only thing I would say is try to identify your kids' talents. If they're good at things like math, puzzles, problem solving, if all of this is intriguing to them, then encourage them to go learn how to code, because it could take them a long way. There are lots of opportunities in that space in the future, and I think it's great to get started at like Kyrene's age. What she's walking us through is simple block programming, but that is going to help you form your basics of how to think through how to write a program, because like we started with, right, what is code? It's steps that are teaching a machine how to do a certain thing. So think about it. A machine at the end of the day doesn't quite have a brain, but you're trying to humanly give it a brain, right? By writing instructions. And at the very, very basic level, that's what it is. So when you do that, you pretty much have to give it every single step-by-step instruction so that it understands what it needs to do, because otherwise it's going to take things very, very
Yes,
literally.
and I hope that is what Kyrene is going to do now. Kyrene, are you ready to present your screen? Kyrene, are you ready to present your screen? Unmute yourself. Sign out and sign in again, and quickly go to the second part of this lesson plan. Sign out and sign in again, beta. So what do you believe? The few of the people, they have this mindset that code is only for those who will opt for computer science in future, and it is not for everybody. So I have got to hear it from many people that there's no
No,
need
no.
of introducing code to everyone. You never know what your child is going to take as a forte.
So I think programming coding is for everybody. Especially with the way we are moving towards artificial intelligence and data science. Eventually, what's going to happen is a lot of the daily, mundane tasks that are very repetitive, they're already starting to get automated, and it's going to continue to happen. And computer science is going to pretty much, it's already, again, touched every industry, but it's going to start like completely replacing and reinventing and reimagining the way the industries have been run all these years, right? So I think even if you're interested eventually in finance or in law or even agriculture, farming, I think it's very important to learn the basics of technology. You Just because you learn programming doesn't mean you have to be a developer all your life and write games. And I think as soon as someone hears about coding, they think, oh, you're making games, or doing something for a company where you just make an app and deploy it. That's not it. There are lots of opportunities here. You can start, like I said, my career, I started as a developer, and then I moved on to more of the product management side. So there's in order to actually deploy a product to market, there are lots of things that multiple teams need to do to make sure this is ready before it goes out to a consumer, from market research to product pricing, to product management, which is understanding what is important to the customer, what are they looking for, what problem are we trying to solve, how are we going to solve it, how are we going to be different from our competitors. So all of that goes in, and that's what a typical product manager does. And they would, preferably, if you have that background in computer science, then it's easier for you to understand the customer, translate it to what a developer, or your business folks would need to understand why you should build this product, how are you going to build it, what is going to be in it, and then eventually taking it to developers, designers, working with all of them to make this come alive and deploy it and then support it. So again, you can start your career as a developer, but that's not the end. You can go, if you love it, you could deep dive into that vertical, and you could become more like a software development engineer lead, and then go further down into architecture and the overall spearheading a company's technology objectives. But if that's not your keen interest, you could also be on the business side of things, where you're in between that customer and business and technology, pretty much the glue that's sticking everyone together.
Yeah, because people generally, they believe that we can hire the coders, and what is the need of learning to code? You can hire people; they'll work for you. They are
No,
not
it's
getting
very
this
important,
idea.
and this has happened in my experience too. Especially, once I moved into this product space, there were so many times when, if there's no product manager, sometimes a business person says something and it goes straight to a developer, and he understands something else altogether,
Yes.
and he's gone ahead and developed it, and before you know it, we've spent so much time and energy on something which
Exactly.
has no connection, right? So that's where a product engineer or a product manager makes a lot of sense, because you understand technology. So know that if someone says ABC, it means A++, then A minus minus, then A, then B++, B minus minus, then B, right? So you can break it down into further instructions that make sense even for a developer to understand, who then breaks it further down into something that a machine can understand, right?
So that
So
is what is very important, to understand the need of learning to code, because right now the
absolutely.
awareness is not there. I guess.
No, and then even so, like I said, even if you might want to be an investment banker, and you might want to go more into the down the finance field eventually. Even in that space now, the a lot of the algorithms and the math that was being done on Excel sheets is now being done by Python. So again, if you had that background of programming and how functions
So,
work, and just
yeah, till that
sorry,
time, Vidhi, I would like to
carrying
give some kind of homework to the people, those who are there watching us. By the time you keep listening to Vidhi here, you can just enter in the chat box which place you belong to, and if you want your child to participate in this event, if you want your child to host an event, an hour of code activity, you can just put it up in the chat box and we'll get back to you, or you can just pass on the information on our Facebook page. So that would be great. We would like to give exposure to more and more students here. So, Vidhi, yes, here you can just share one more thing. Like, what do you think? Like, how should we prepare our kids who are there in the schools for the
So again,
technology?
I think for kids who are still in school, there are two people who are going to play a very, very important role in encouraging them and directing them in the right way, right? That's our parents and teachers. And I think so more than, what I would tell the kids, I think I would highly encourage the other parents and teachers to, from a parent's perspective, I would encourage them to make sure that, you understand your kids' skill set. If they're good in problem solving, if they're good with puzzles, for example, or doing some mystery code hunt or something like that, clue hunt, I think they're thinking very analytically and logically. So try to find them an opportunity. If it's not already available at your school, try to find an opportunity like Code Tigers or any other coding camp that must be around you, and teach them the basics. You can start with block programming, go to code.org and start there, and then see how their interest develops, and take it further. But it's going to be a very, very good skill set for them to have even later on, right? Like I said, you could go from engineering to even law, MBA, and it's going to be the basic logic foundation that's going to be created for you. So that's one thing. And for teachers, I would say try to have this as a course, in your school early on. It's very easy. I'm sure most schools have something like an app lab. You could break it down into sessions that happen after school for kids who are interested if you don't have enough resources, or reach out to, again, coding camps and people like Code Tigers to see how they could come in and help you. But I think for them to, again, and encourage all your students to learn. It's not rocket science. Sometimes people overthink it and they think it's too complicated and it's not for me, without even knowing what it really is, right? Give your kids a chance, give them an opportunity, and let them decide on their own if they're interested in this or not. And from what I understand, I think they will love it because it's problem solving. They all love doing, most kids love doing puzzles, and it makes you think, and it'll even, like, if your kid is too jumpy and hyper, it might calm them down too, because then they're trying to use your mind towards something.
Also, there are so many options in engineering. Like nowadays, children, they want to opt for iOS engineering and making apps and all. So, can you just talk about
Yeah.
those other options available?
Yeah, so you could, again, focus on a particular platform. So you could go down the route of iOS development or Android development, or you could just be a web developer. In that too, there are two things that they could do. They could either be a front end developer or a back end developer, or they could even be a full stack developer. By that we mean, so if I break it down, right, front end is everything that you see on your screens, or the presentation, the experience, and backend is most of the logic that makes it happen, which is accessing a database to get that data, doing some analysis on it, and then sending it over to the front end to present it in a certain way. So again, your child could, if your child could focus on any one thing, or they might be good at all of it, and they might want to be a full stack developer, which is they can do something end to end in a particular stack. But again, I would encourage, don't get so bogged down by what language should I learn, because that's not important. Okay, it's to give you an analogy, it's as simple as saying, I want to produce a movie today. Which language should I produce it in? English, Hindi, Spanish, French, Tamil? It doesn't matter, because we can easily have subtitles and all viewers will understand what you're trying to show, right? So
Maybe
the
there is a
language.
question, if you would like to answer this. So what are the uses of code? They are asking, just is it used just for making apps?
No, not at all. So like I said, you could make apps, you could make a web development platform, which is a website that does basic things. But there is also the back end that I was talking about, right? Like right before we got cut off. Tomorrow, if you're interested in something like investment banking as well, a lot of the calculations that they do typically happens on Excel sheets, or it has been happening on Excel sheets so far. What they're doing now and realizing, though, is that Python, which is a language that was discovered much early on in the 1990s, I think, or even earlier than that, is now being used by bankers to run those same algorithms against large data sets, because the rate at which we are generating data is exponential. And so to access that and to make sense out of that, Excel is no longer able to do it at the same speed, at the same pace, right? So now again, you're seeing a bunch of financial, people from the finance industry who are managers, investment bankers, learning coding. So
Even you
coding
can
can
see
be.
how computers and code is important in sports as well. Not only
Yes.
we'll be talking about all the
Yeah,
technical or
yeah.
studies and all, even in arts.
Yes, and again, going down to the opportunity part as well. You could even be a designer. So if you're very good at art, you could even just be a UI, an experienced designer, UI UX designer, and for that too. There wouldn't be as much coding. It would be more of just using, tools like Photoshop, Adobe. But beyond that, you could also learn a little bit of HTML, so that when because you would be working very closely with developers, right? So it's always good to have some knowledge there.
Kyrene, are you ready to present now?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry,
Come
there was
on.
a problem.
It's okay. It's okay. Perfectly fine. Come on, present your screen and just start. I know you can finish it fast as well, so we'll not disturb you now.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. We see.
Click on the continue.
Yeah. Okay. Then we come to the second screen. So this is the instructions. This is the screen or the play area where all the instructions will be happening. This is the toolbox where the tools are, and then this is the workspace. So then we will read the instructions. Make the screen green. Drag in a set property block. Use drop downs to set the screen's background color to green. Then hit run. So then this is what it should be looking like. So let's see. Screen 1, background color to green. Now let's run. It worked, so let's finish. There are two options, heart and sad face. If you liked it, then tap on the heart. I loved it. We have to make this bigger and blue. Make the text bigger and blue. You will need 2 lines of code. Give label a font size of 80 and text color of blue. So let's see. Label font, yes. Text color to blue. And also we'll need one more. We need the font size or the text. font size to 80. Let's run. And it is working, so let's finish it. Now make the buttons red and blue. Then change the text in the large orange label. How? Remember, you can hover over the elements to see their ID. So you can see the second box is telling the ID. Set the background color of the buttons to red and blue. Set the text property of the label to anything you want, like welcome to my app. So first, let's do the colors. Let's see, button 1. Let's background color to red. Then this is button 2. Button 2. Background color to blue. Okay, so is there anything you want to write here?
Vidhi, you can just answer the question. Unmute yourself, please, and just tell anything, whatever you want it to be written on top.
Say, welcome to my first app.
Okay. Okay, now let's run it. It is working, so let's finish.
I think for those who are trying to do this alongside at home, if they find the speed a little too fast,
Yeah, they can read the instructions, I guess, and it's simple.
Yeah.
It might appear difficult to you, but it is not.
Right.
There's another video.
Would it be fine if we play it?
Like starting your own business. I mean, you get to design everything from the ground up. You get to manage everything, and you're the owner of this piece of work that you just created with code. Now that you can change the look of your app, let's make it interactive by responding to events. Events are user actions, like clicking a button, scrolling through a menu, or hovering over a picture. Interactive apps need ways to respond to events, like playing a sound when I click this button. To do this in App Lab, you'll need to use a new block called onEvent. This program sets the screen to blue. I want the screen to turn green when I click this button. First, I'll need to drag in an onEvent block. By hovering, I know the button's ID is big button, so I'll select that in the first dropdown. Next, I'll choose the type of event. There's lots of options you can pick from, but right now I'll leave it as a regular old click. Finally, I'll add code inside the onEvent that will change the background color of the screen. You can read this block like a sentence. On the event that the button is clicked, run all this code. Let's test it. Blocks outside an onEvent still run right away, so the screen starts blue. And when I click the big button, the code inside my onEvent runs, and my screen turns green. If you want to change more things after the event, like the text on the screen, just add more code to the onEvent. To make your program respond to more events, add more onEvent blocks. Just make sure not to put them inside of each other. Now it's time to try it out for yourself. Have fun!
So the video is over. Now we can tap on continue.
So while this page is loading, I'll just explain one other small thing, right? For people who are just starting off, when you're doing this, essentially, the computer is looking through each block, and then within each block, they're looking at each set of instructions line by line and running it and executing it. So one of the things they just said is make sure you don't put your other on event within within an event, right? And that's because if you try to do that, at the first click, it'll go into that block and then it'll wait for, again, it'll try to run that next line of code and it'll ask you, it'll look at, oh, it's waiting for another event to happen in order to further execute something. Okay, so that's just how a computer reads through program and does a bunch of actions based on the instructions you've set from
It's
up
so
to down.
great, Vidhi, to have you here. You have just reduced all my burden by explaining everything here. That's great.
Oh no!
I was
Thanks.
actually waiting
So
for
some of these,
somebody from the technology background so that, things are pretty easy.
yeah, and it's just some of these things are so basic. But for someone who's starting off new, it's very
Yes,
important to understand.
very important.
Okay.
Try- Yeah.
Now it says the screen will start out blue. Okay, it is. Add code so it turns green when you click the greenify button. Add code inside the on event that sets the screen's background color to green. So it should work like this. Then let's see set property. You have to take it in and we have to write screen 1 background color to green. It worked. So then let's add another set property. But we make the big buttons text. Changed.
So here, what do you want me to do? Changed it to? We can change the text here.
You can say hello world. That's typically the first thing you learn in programming, how to print hello world.
Okay, now let's see. It has worked. So finish. And I love this puzzle, so let's continue. Flashlight app. Help finish this flashlight app. The on button already turns the screen white. Run the app and try it out. Then write the code so the off button makes the screen black again. Let's run it. It does turn on, but it doesn't turn off. Add code inside the empty on event that sets the background color of the screen to black and text color to the label to white. Okay, off button, click, set property. This is screen 1, so this is black. So we turn it off. Then we will make this is called label 1. So let's make it label 1 text color. Because we're changing the text color to white. Okay, now let's run. And now on, that already worked, but let's see if the off works. It works. So let's finish.
So just one more thing there, right? What will happen? Here's a question, right? If you put that on event for the off button inside the block for the on button.
If we put this inside the on button.
Yeah, that whole block on event for off button, if you picked it up and put it inside by mistake, inside the function, the event function for on button, yes.
You can keep it, click on run and try.
Yeah.
Yes. It doesn't work. Nothing. See, it does work actually.
Right. See, so it will work only if you first do on and then do off. I try to do it such that reset it and only try to press the off button. Keep the code as is inside that on event block. Reset it and now only press the off button. And it doesn't work.
That's
Right?
because it's already off.
Right. So this is that what I was talking about, because you moved that event inside the on event. So what the computer is reading now is the off button event will happen only if the on button event happens, because it's happening inside that block code.
And after this.
But if you split it up, they can work independently.
Like this.
Yes. Okay. So that's, you can move forward. Sorry, I just wanted to highlight that. That's the importance of.
Yes. Images and sounds. Interesting.
Next, you'll learn about adding images and sounds to your app. Let's start by checking out the sound options. In the toolbox, you'll find a new block called Play Sound. Drag it into the workspace. You can pick a sound to play by clicking the drop-down, then clicking Choose. From here, you can either upload a sound file from your computer or search for a sound from the sound library. The sound library has lots of different categories: instruments, background music, or animals. Once you've got the sound you want, click Choose. When this block runs, it'll play the sound you chose. To add images to your elements, you can just use the Set Property block. Select the Image property in the second dropdown. Then select Choose from the third dropdown. From here, you can upload an image from your computer, or you can look through a huge library of icons in the Icon library. Back in code mode, you can use the Set Property block to change the icon color of your icon. Once you've picked what image or icon to use, click Run to see how it looks. That's all there is to it. Now you can start adding images and sounds to make your apps even more fun and dynamic.
So the video is over. Let's continue and go to the nights.
So are you enjoying here, Vidhi? Unmute yourself.
I'm loving it. This is so powerful. It's an amazing way to learn how to code. This is a great start for anyone who's looking to learn.
That is why we always emphasize on this point that just start with visual programming language, and then you can move to the text-based programming language. And we try to make the transition so seamless that the children don't even get to know that from the visual, from the fun learning, they have now switched over to the actually technical part, and a little bit difficult as compared to the visual one.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, removing all the complexities, and it's just trying to teach you first how to think. And then you can always learn a particular language and figure out, okay, this is how, because every language will have some of their own like nuances and their own ways of doing things. So then you just have to tweak that understanding a little bit.
Yes. Kyrene, ready to present?
Yes, I shall. Now here we've got a lot for us already.
Present your screen. Yes.
Okay. So it says set property button 1 image. Okay, let's read the instructions. This soundboard is almost done. Run to see how it works. Then add an image, text, and sound to the last button. You choose. How? Add an on event to the program and set the ID to button 4. Drag or place sound into the on event and choose a sound from the library. Add a set property outside your on event to change the button's image property. Choose an image using the third dropdown. Add one more set property to change the button's text. Let's see how it works right now. Now we have to tap on you choose. So this button's ID is button 4. Let's drag an on event. Button 4, click. Play sound. Let's choose. Animals.
Yeah, Irene, let's do the cow. My daughter loves cows.
Cow. Okay. Now let's get the set property block here. To make the button 4 say cow. Let's change the text to cow. And
So then we set all these properties before any of your events. The block
Yes.
of code for events has is written. You always set your properties first because, like I said, when a computer runs this program, it'll run it instruction by instruction. So the first few instructions will help you set the page a certain way. So regardless of any interaction, if there's no interaction done with your app 2 or with that screen, it should still appear by default a certain way. So that's what this set property is doing.
Okay. So then let's choose an image. Maybe one of the icon, animal. Do you want to choose any of these? Or-
You can pick any.
Decide.
Feel free to pick any. Yeah, it's
This looks kind of like a cow. It's the closest. Okay, let's run. I think we should change the icon's color. Button 4. Icon color. Let's change it to
So here, Vidhi, you can see the age criteria is 13 plus. Still, Kyrene is 10 and she is able to do it so easily.
yeah, that's
And we
No,
should
this is
motivate more of the girl childs here, I guess, to join in coding because she is one of the super coder, I guess, that I have.
Kyrene's awesome. This is so this is so motivating, and I would highly encourage all parents, to get their children to at least give them this opportunity, let them learn. I'm sure they'll love it. It's the way everything has been built out for them to learn. It's so easy. Instead of wasting their time watching some cartoons online, this is the best way of screen time right now. At least they're learning something that's going to take them a long way.
So we all need to hone our skills and we need to learn code.
Yes,
And I guess
we
this is the
should.
best time, yes.
We should. This is the best time. And Niranjana, it's so funny when I posted this in my to my friends and family in our network. There were so many adults too who came to me and asked me, "Can I join? Like, do you think I would be able to learn?" And I said, "Absolutely." So not just for kids, I think even parents, if you're interested and you just want to, learn something new, learning never stops. Go ahead and do this, and you open your mind up to a whole new world out there, and then
I
maybe
remember, Vidhi,
learn another children.
once we conducted an event and we had um, a person of 54 years of age, and we did not say no to any. I said, it's okay, you can come and join. So
Yeah,
they love this.
this is so much fun, and like you'll see, Kyrene will walk us through it. In a few more steps, you will have a full complete app that you can do a mock off and
It
take a
takes
look at. So that's amazing.
an hour to complete this app. Okay, Kyrene, proceed now.
Now let's run and see if our code is working. It's working. So let's finish because it worked. After that, we'll continue. We have another video. So let's watch.
So we have various modes in the app lab, like design mode, code mode.
To build your own app, you're going to need to start designing screens and elements from scratch. App Lab makes this easy to do with design mode. Use the switch on top of your app to go into design mode. You can add new elements by dragging them onto the screen. You can move them around to different locations and change their size by dragging the bottom right corner. To change an element's properties, use the controls on the right. For example, it's really easy to change this button's text, color, and font size. When you add a new element to your screen, it'll get a generic ID like button 1. It's a good idea to change this ID to something more meaningful, like right button, so that you'll know which one it is when you go to the program. If you add an element to your app by mistake, just drag it out or hit delete. You can add entirely new screens to your app by dragging in a screen element. From the drop-down at the top, you can quickly switch back and forth between the screens you create. Inside your app, you'll need a way to switch between all of these screens. So the Set Screen block has been added to the toolbox. Use Set Screen inside an On-Event block to change screens at the click of a button. In the next few levels, you'll be working on a single project. First, you'll add a button, then you'll add a new screen, and finally, you'll write code so that the button switches to the new screen.
Right now it's doing this much. So let's make another screen for you to interact.
So this is what I was referring to even earlier, as Kyrene is just walking us through this design mode and adding an element, a design element. That this is also a career opportunity. You could be, if you're great at design, you're good at art, you're good at making illustrations, cartoon caricatures. If that's an interest to you, you could be an interaction designer, you could be a UI UX designer, and that's a field of its own. There is so much to learn there. There are certain techniques, there are certain particular tools, and there's there are lots of things that you can do there, and then you can still be a part of an app development team and deploy applications.
There's
Not
so
just
much
app
to
development,
explore.
even for web development.
There is so much to explore here. Like artificial intelligence is going to be so impactful that it is going to replace many of the jobs, and
Right,
especially
right. Right, and that's so going back to your question, right? That what are the opportunities? And I completely missed that. But yes, there's so many industries where this code is going to be where code is actually being used, right? And any industry that you think of, artificial intelligence, data science, data analytics. Think of, like you said, sports. How do you think Virat Kohli keeps improving on every match? He needs someone to help him with all the data that is drawn from his past matches, and to help him understand what his strategy should be in the next game. Not just his data, right? Then there is your competitors' data and how they've played on, and then there's data about that particular field and that ground and how teams have generally played there. And so all of that is just data which is stored somewhere, and you take all of that data and you run a bunch of code. You're running algorithms, you're running a math problem to make sense out of it, which is then said in words through maybe an app, or it could be a website or something that tells Virat. And then when you add AI to it, it could actually just be a speaker that talks back to Virat and tells him that you should be playing like this today because the weather is like this, and so the pitch is going to be like this, and your team is going to do this, and this is your strong set. Your strong skills. So code is used everywhere that you can think of. Think of self-driving cars. Irene, you can continue with the
continue,
application.
Kyrene. Yeah.
But think of self-driving cars, right? What's going to tell the car that you need to stop at that red light? There are sensors that are on the car that see everything that's around them, and then based again on a bunch of instructions, they do certain things based on all that data that is gathered, and they have to do it instantly, just like a human mind. So if you're interested in cars, if you're interested in sports, if you're interested in movies, how do you think, when that Dhoni movie was made, they got Sushant Singh Rajput sometimes looking really young. There was a bunch of CGI that was done. What is that at a very basic level? There's a lot of code that goes into it. How are all the animated films made? It's what Kyrene is doing right now. There are designs, and then there is code that runs it really fast so that it looks like that animation is moving.
Yes, even this creative graphic design work will be taken over by artificial intelligence very soon. So
Yeah. So
technology.
Niranjana, I don't. I wouldn't want to say that something is completely being taken over. I would say it's like like IBM defines AI. They don't say it's artificial intelligence. It's augmented intelligence. They're going to be working alongside with you to do certain things, because even in design, at the end of the day, the creativity comes only from a real brain, and you could power someone to think like a human, which is what AI is trying to do. You can power machines to do that, but I think the emotional intelligence piece of it, the psychology piece of it, that's still hard for a machine to implement, and that's why I wouldn't say that. Even in this design space, I think there's still a lot of opportunity for us as well to help
But then
computers.
you need to know the technology. It is not like that
Yes.
I will work on paper and that would work anymore. So you have to be in loop with the technology. Like augmented
Absolutely.
reality, you are saying now most of the classes, the online classes, they do have augmented realities. So these are actually empowering the teachers to give an effective, online teaching.
Yes, yes, exactly, absolutely. So that's why I think we'll all learn to coexist, and but it'll be important for us to understand how all of this works and how what the basics of it is, so that you could work with it to do even more powerful things.
Yes. Kyrene, now you have to finish it a little bit fast. Come to your speed now.
Yes. So let's drag a right button to here. And to change this color, we can tap on the orange button and find this.
People have started asking for your help, Kyrene, to develop the app. So you are a
Okay,
star
here in
now.
the this button, let's write here right. We'll make the font size bigger. Too small. Let's make it same as this. This is 30.
So this all is a complete
Oh,
personal choice. You can choose according to your requirement.
we can change the font family also. Then take the here let's take the on event. See this. The ID is button 2. Click. Set screen.
Niranjana, is there a Code Tigers in Mumbai?
We are working online. Vidhi, we have students from US, from UK, from Dubai. So we can reach to Mumbai. We have from Bangalore. So we have students all over from Rajasthan. We have from
Nice.
Kolkata. We have so many students all across the globe, I would say rather. So
That's
yes,
awesome.
we can reach to Mumbai as well. Just give us a call and we'll reach you. Don't worry. So see,
That's
this
awesome.
technology now everything is possible.
It's awesome, yeah. And right now,
So
while we're all under semi lockdown, this is a great time for everyone to make better use of the screen time that kids get in a day.
even if it is not the lockdown, then also I think this is the requirement. Like you should learn to code. Earlier, also
Yeah.
children used to, they were learning. They used to come for the regular classes and all. We used to enjoy many unplugged activities and all. So yeah, Kyrene, you can finish it fast
Okay.
now.
Yeah, so we got a new screen which I named right screen. So in the left screen it comes when we tap on left. So we can design this too as we want. Like this color, and then you can do the rest too. You went left. I will make the font size black. Okay, so then the instructions were to drag a new pattern, resize it, and then make the text background color, ID, font size. So we have done that. So let's finish and continue.
So
In the
let us see
next
what is there in this
one,
part.
looks like we're going to be adding on to this one only. So it says create a new screen called right screen and add a text label that says you went right. In design mode, drag in a new screen element. Change its ID to right screen. Then drag a label on the screen and change the text to event. So we've been new screen. Let's tap. Then here Now here we'll add button. It's actually a text logo. We can make it bigger from here. Drag it to places. We can write the text as you went. Right. You can change the font size, font color, etc. So here I'll change this to pink because I want it a little similar.
I guess changing the color and the font size and all, it is quite clear to all the viewers. So we'll be a little bit quick in this.
Yes. So then we'll change the font size because it's too small. Now this is done. So we have done this. Let's finish because we are done. Continue. The screen switches to right screen when the user clicks the red right button. In code mode, add a new on event to your program for your right button. Add a set screen block inside of it that switches screen to right screen. This is an extra screen. Okay, so we have this screen one. We can name it right screen instead to make it more clear. Now in the code, we have to add an on event.
So suppose
So
you are
while she's
selecting 5. Yes, Vidhi?
sorry, go ahead. So while she's
No.
doing this, I just wanted to, tell people, our users who are seeing and who tuned in, that one application of this screen, right, that she's making right now, and that all of us probably open at least twice a day, if not more, is think about an Amazon. When you're looking at a product on your phone in the Amazon app, the previous screen, not this screen, but the previous screen that she was on, could be that screen that tells you about your product information, and then there'd be 2 buttons, buy now or add to cart. And when you click on, see this could be like, it could be a Amazon screen that tells you about a product, and your left button could be buy now, right? Left button could be add to cart, right button could be buy now. And as you click on right, it would straight take you to a payment screen. And if you click on left, it would take you to a cart screen. So that's the exact same thing logically that she is developing right now.
Yes. Kyrene, carry on.
Yes. Okay, so now we will drag an on event block. This ID is button 2. So we will write here button 2. Click is already there. Set screen, right screen. And we can also play a sound. The same one as the left. So let's run. Then if they go right, it'll be like this. You went left, you went right. That's done, so finish. We have another video which we can watch.
Now that you've learned some of the basics of App Lab, like adding buttons, sounds, images, text, and new screens, You can make all sorts of apps. In the next level, you'll find the app you just finished building. A little creativity, you can turn this into a personality quiz for your friends, a greeting card that you can share with your family, or a choose-your-own-adventure game. All of these apps are just a combination of the skills you've already learned, and I bet you can come up with even more. Once you're done with your app, you can easily send it to your phone to see how it'll look. Just click Share and enter your phone number here. You'll receive a text message that'll let you open up your app instantly. You can also share a link to your app over social media, or publish it to the code.org public gallery for other people to play and share. You've just scratched the surface of what App Lab can do. Full App Lab features more advanced user interactions, new screen elements, and even a built-in database, so you can quickly build full-featured apps. At code.org/applab, you'll find the full tool and lots of ideas if you want to keep going. Thanks for coming along the ride. Now go build and share your first app, and keep on building apps with App Lab.
So the video is over and we'll continue. Now here it says, build your own app by extending this project and share it with someone. How? Decide what type of app you're interested in building. Then go build it by adding more screens, buttons, text, sound, and user interactions to your app. There's a few more blocks in the toolbox that you can experiment with as well. Once you're done, click Share to send it to yourself or a friend. So now we can see in the left screen over here, we can write anything we want. So let's design it first. We can.
Somebody has joined from Kuwait.
Now maybe we can add 2 buttons here. Drag this a bit up. Anything you would like to do?
Maybe just write a message that says, thanks for attending.
Yes, you can write down a thank you note for everybody, those who were patiently watching it. Thank you so much, viewers, for watching this. Now you are also an expert to create your own app.
Let's name the button next. We can put this button in 2 places. We can put it in both. Right hand.
And I really expect that children will do their homework now. They'll create an app. And you can share it with us. You can share it on the page of Code Tigers so that we'll publish it.
Yeah, I highly encourage all the parents here, teachers here to do this with their children. Spend some time, give it to them as a homework assignment, through the week, so that they can do it at their own time. But it really doesn't take that long. As you saw today, Kyrene took only about an hour to build her own app, and she can share it with everyone. So,
and there's a lot more to explore.
There is a lot more to explore.
This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning.
Yeah, there are lots of modules in here. This is just one app development module. I believe they have AI as well. So if you want to learn the basics of what artificial intelligence is, I think they have one module in here for that. if your kids love Frozen, there are some modules even on that where you can help Elsa make certain snowflakes. And it's very nice because you'll even understand how the movie was potentially made, right?
And if your
And
child
some,
is inclined towards art, then Frozen is the best, I guess, for them,
yeah.
irrespective of your gender, because Frozen is not only for girls. I'll bring
Yes,
somebody.
please,
I'll bring
please.
somebody from the
And,
boys
and
to.
my one takeaway from this whole session, right, is for all the parents here who have a girl child, please encourage your children to go learn how to code. This is not just for boys, and it's honestly, it's going to help them think more logically, analytically. It's going to improve their mathematical skills as well, and eventually, it's going to make them financially independent because they will be doing something that they love, and they'll be able to do it professionally, and be able to manage themselves, which is very, very important for a girl child. It's not
And
enough.
this is a kind of integrated learning, Vidhi. What they can do is they can create stories, they can learn language, they can learn maths, as you were saying. This is integrated. So you can learn other subjects also through code.
Exactly. It's a great skill to have, and I think, like I said, in the future too, there are lots of opportunities in the computer science space. So if you begin at an early age, you're definitely going to be at an advantage. So whether it's a boy or a girl, this is don't have that gender bias, and just teach both of them everything.
So Kyrene, here there's a message for you, Kiki. Your cousins are planning to make an app, and you need to help them. Okay, so you finish, you just get over from here and just straightforward. You need to
That's
go
not
and
my
help them.
cousin. That is not my cousin.
Okay,
That's my friend.
okay. So many names you have. I was just going through the chat box. And it's so amazing to work with Kyrene. She's always full of energy. Sometimes I have to tell that Kyrene, I'm tired now. It's more than enough. I need to go. And she would be like, no, ma'am, please half an hour more. So she keeps motivating. She
Yeah,
keeps
if we,
pushing
I can
me.
see if we didn't have a time limit on this session too, she would probably want to go on and make 3, 4 more screens right now.
She can do that. Yes.
I think the app is done for now. This is it, and then if you tap on right, it's same. It just says right. So done.
Well done.
Awesome,
Kyrene, well
Kyrene.
done.
Great job.
Yes.
Thank you very
In
much.
spite of the
Now
connectivity
you get
issues, you were too good to complete this. And you get a certificate for this.
Fantastic job, Kyrene.
So these
Thank
certificates
you.
they can just frame and put it on their wall of fame so that they can flaunt it.
Yeah. It's an achievement. It really is.
Okay.
Kyrene, this is amazing. You're definitely inspiring a lot of children out there. So keep doing what you're doing.
So how did you enjoy Vidhi?
I loved it. Thank you so much for having me here, Niranjana. This is the best Sunday morning I've had in months.
It was our pleasure too. Thank you so much, Kyrene, for being so patient and persistent to complete your, app work in spite of the connectivity issues that you had. Thank you so much, the wonderful audience here. Thank you so much. Please pass on the word, spread the word to everybody, your family members, your friends, so that more and more people can join in and they can learn how to code. Thank you so much. Again, we'll meet on next Sunday, 10 a.m. Thank you, Kyrene. Thank you, Vidhi.
Thanks, Niranjana.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Kyrene. And thank you,
Have a
everyone.
nice day
who
ahead.
tuned in.
Bye.
Thank
Both
you.
of you. Kyrene, you have so much to do now. A lot of work for you. You need to help all your friends, all your cousins.
Yeah, maybe she can come help us too, Kyrene,
Yeah.
at
I'll take
Moneyfront.
all her help. Don't worry.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much, Vidhi. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.